On today's show, unofficial tallies suggest that there are now more than 500,000 pre-reservations for the Tesla Cybertruck, Audi halts production on its e-tron SUV because of a battery supply issue, and security firm McAfee demonstrates a way to hack early Tesla Autopilot systems into driving faster than the posted speed limit. Except it's not really a hack. These stories and more coming next. This is Ecotricity's EcoTEC roundup show from New Zealand's only carboNZero certified renewable electricity company. We are 100% Kiwi and 50% community owned. Why not switch today at ecotricity.co.nz? It's Sunday, and that means it's time for a roundup of last week's news before we get going with the new week. So let's get on with it. Last November, Tesla unveiled its long-awaited pickup truck, the Tesla Cybertruck Ute. Polarising in its design, you either love it or you hate it, the Cybertruck certainly wasn't what many of us were expecting. But it looks like Tesla may have managed to gain more than 500,000 pre-reservations from customers in the 4 months since its reveal. According to an unofficial tally of reservation numbers from the Cybertruck Owners Club, an estimated 550,000 Cybertruck reservations now exist. That, in case you were interested, is in line with the more than 500,000 Model 3s reserved before it's launched. Roll on next year. Last week on this channel, we told you that Jaguar Land Rover had temporarily halted production of the I-Pace electric SUV because of a battery supply issue. And this week, it appears Audi is in the same boat, with the company shuttering its e-tron production line until more battery cells can be secured. Currently, Audi plans to produce 80,000 e-trons per year, but right now, LG Chem is only supplying it with enough cells for 40,000 cars. Meanwhile, Audi's sister company Volkswagen says it's not affected by the problem as it has its own battery supplies, or rather, its own battery production facilities. Nevertheless, it shows how right Tesla was to build its own battery facilities, even if it did have some teething problems along the way. While Tesla no longer denotes how large its battery pack capacities are in its vehicles, ditching the numbered suffix system for capacity and instead just using standard or long range, it hasn't stopped people trying to figure out just what the capacity of Tesla's new battery packs are. And renowned Tesla software expert Jason Hughes has come through again with some real gems after perusing Tesla's latest battery management firmware. According to Hughes, there's now evidence that Tesla is readying a pack with 109 kilowatt hours of usable battery capacity, which would be good for about 400 miles of range. That said, we shouldn't confuse that with the range boost given to Model S and X last week. Although, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla is already putting that larger, longer-legged battery pack in its cars and is now going to unlock more range in the coming weeks. Atlis, a company that we'll admit we haven't covered all that much, but which is just as valid in the plug-in pickup marketplace as rivals like Tesla, Rivian, Bollinger, Ford and GM, has just held its first battery day at its headquarters in Arizona. At it, the company was going to detail the battery technology underlying its $45,000 XT pickup truck. We already know that the entry-level XT will have a 125 kilowatt-hour battery pack with 500 miles of claimed range and a rapid charge time of just 15 minutes. While we did get a last-minute invite to the event, we were unable to attend due to the costs and logistics involved, but we'll be sure to cover the news in a future episode. It's certainly worth paying attention to. Consumer Reports, the non-profit organisation that's come under a lot of criticism in the past from Tesla fans because of the way that certain Tesla models fared in its annual automotive reliability survey, has given the Tesla Model 3 its coveted Top Pick award for 2020. Early Model 3s weren't rated so highly by Consumer Reports, but in its latest Top Pick list, the Model 3 was the only US-made car on it. Unlike previous years, the list has been organised according to vehicle price point rather than market segment, which puts Model 3 alongside the Lexus RX and Toyota Supra in the $45,000 to $55,000 price category. Zero Motorcycles has officially unveiled its latest motorcycle in the form of the Zero SRS. Based on the same chassis, drivetrain and power pack as the SRF that Zero debuted last year, the Zero SRS is the company's first sports bike and features full fairing, higher handlebars and a more upright riding position. Although it's officially rated with the same range that the SRF has, Zero says you can gain 13% energy savings if you tuck yourself behind the fairing and the windshield. I love the grown-up look of this new bike, but I'll admit, as some of you have already, that it is a little pricey with a starting price of just shy of $20,000 US. If you own a Tesla and a Tesla Powerwall, the chances are you've sat down and thought about how cool it would be to integrate your Powerwall and your car's charging system. Sure, you might already be able to charge from your Powerwall, but now you might be able to do far more, as code in a recent Tesla API release seems to suggest. It shows that Tesla is working on a slew of new features, including intelligent charging control of a vehicle when the mains power is off, which would prevent the Powerwall from being drained to charge your car, as well as permitting charging when the Tesla's Powerwall is full and there's still power being generated on the roof of your home. If this is indeed the case, it makes Powerwall an even more compelling companion to any Tesla on sale today. Back in 2006, European brand Opel officially pulled out of the Japanese market, but it's just confirmed it will return next year with the Opel Corsa, and thus the all-new Corsa E front and centre. When Opel pulled out of Japan, it was still owned by General Motors, but since its new owners, Group PSA, that's Peugeot Citroën to you and I, already have a healthy presence in Japan, the brand is set to return there in 2021. While we don't have that many Japanese viewers, this is also exciting news, as it suggests maybe, just maybe, that Opel and its Corsa E will head to Australia and New Zealand to take up the void left by Holden, which was officially and unceremoniously killed by GM at the start of this week. Tesla's Autopilot system is probably the most well-known of all semi-autonomous systems in use today, and to be frank, it's pretty darned advanced. But this week, security firm McAfee shared a video of how easy it is to trick an early Tesla Model S first-gen autopilot system into thinking that the speed limit is higher than it actually was. How? By putting a little bit of tape over the middle of the number 3 in a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit sign to extend it enough that a human can still read it, but the first-gen autopilot system mistakes it for an 8. They got the car driving a lot faster. While Tesla's autopilot system is now far more advanced than this early system, it does show that we've got a way to go before autonomous driving is completely foolproof and completely unhackable. Breathe 3 America, a proposed initiative in San Diego, California, USA, is looking for 76,000 signatures from local residents to support the ban of any new internal combustion engine car over $50,000 in value from next year, as well as adding a 2.5% sales tax on new cars purchased outside the city and then registered within city limits. The idea is pretty simple: to try and encourage those who can afford to buy an electric car to buy an electric car instead of an internal combustion engined one. By starting with higher priced vehicles, Breathe Free America hopes it can improve the notoriously poor air quality in San Diego. It currently has a massive air pollution problem. And finally, you all know, sadly, the story. Back at the turn of the century, General Motors was making a 2-seat electric car called the EV1. It was fast, fun, and it was leased to customers in certain markets before GM took them all back, well, most of them, and crushed them. Only a handful, mostly museum exhibits and donations to universities, survived, and most of these cars were intentionally crippled and donated with strict instructions that they never be put back on the road or sold. Yet, one EV1 is currently up for sale, and you could buy it yourself if you act today. The catch? It's a bare shell and a box of bits. It turns out that the University of Cincinnati in Ohio is selling what used to be its EV1. So follow the link below if you're feeling brave, and have the legal team to battle GM on this one. And on that note, that's your lot for today. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Tell your friends about the show. And if you've got some feedback, please do, as always, send it our way. Make sure while you're at it that you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next episode. And if you haven't already, please do consider switching to New Zealand's only carboNZero certified renewable electricity company. The process is super easy and quick to happen, and if you do make the switch, you are going to be helping New Zealand to go zero emission long before large parts of the world. We'll be making some more fun content for you all to enjoy in the next week or so, but until then, I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. Ka kite! See you next time.